Hello, everybody. I'm BAJPAYEE, joined by Chara Kirk.
What's up?
Joined by MANOJ BAJPAYEE.
Hi.
And we are here at Novotel Mumbai International Airport. Thank you so much for allowing us to use your space while we conduct this interview with this wonderful, talented actor. I have a bone to pick with you, by the way.
What is that?
Because we were hanging out,
Yeah.
and I told you I was halfway through your movie, and you didn't warn me what was up ahead. We were just watching it before you got here, and I cried so much. I was holding back. She really cried.
I really cried. So much so that like all my makeup is messed up and like I didn't have time to really redo any of it. So that's your fault. Because like we were just watching the movie and I had a feeling.
Gulmohar, by the way.
Yes,
yeah, Gulmohar.
for the audience who don't know. But I had a feeling from watching the trailer. I was like, I think this movie is going to get me because whenever it's like family drama, anything if it has to do with family, I'm already halfway there when it comes to like the waterworks, but specifically your storyline.
Right.
I was devastated for Arun. I was just like, what an awful like discovery to find out like all this stuff about his dad.
Here's my question to you about that, because there are so many moments in the movie where you don't do much, but there's a lot going on with your eyes. Like, okay, for instance, there's a moment, I'm not going to give anything away because I want you guys to watch the movie. It's really good. There's a moment where you're getting into an elevator and the guy goes, oh, you check in, you cancel, then you check in again, and then you go, and then you go in the elevator. And it goes by fast, but I'm like, oh my God, like I feel everything he's feeling in that moment.
Yeah.
What is your thought process in creating those moments? Are you just in the mode as the character?
You know, there's a film, a very beautiful film called Marriage Story. If you see the film, you actually see his face going red with fear, with anger, and with a sense of betrayal from his wife. And there is outburst by him. But before that, whatever his wife is saying is actually hitting him. Acting is not about pretending. When they say that it's about pretending, it is not about that. It's about really feeling it to your bone. So when you're really feeling it and you really know where you are coming, where the character is coming from and where he's going to go, and the truth is in between. We all learn craft. I have done.
Yeah.
All of the actors who have come from theater, they work on the craft. They work on the craft not because they don't want to feel it. They work on the craft so that whatever they are feeling is communicated well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Okay?
absolutely. Yeah.
So it is channelized by the craft and the skill. I personally am into the character in most of the films that I'm doing. Not the mainstream films, I must say, the commercial films that we make, because they don't allow us that space where you can afford to get into the. They don't want it. They want you to make an impact. Okay, they want you to be aware of the camera. They want you to be aware of the dialogues that you're going to say. You want to be aware. You have to be aware what kind of a effect it is going to have on the audience. That's how mainstream films and the commercial films are done. But the film which is relying a lot on the characters and the story, the actors have to be extremely prepared.
Yeah.
Extremely prepared. Extremely with the role, with the character, so much so that the wall between the actor and character should, just go away.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was wondering as well, because when I watched Gulmohar, I was like, wow, this really feels like it could just be a play.
Right.
And so I was wondering as well, like how much of your theater training kind of supported you in that, or like with the other actors too?
Yeah, I mean, what theater teaches you primarily is to collaborate well. Okay, because theater is a medium where actors are not given a second chance. You have to work together. You can't be away in the vanity van alone. You prepare, you are in the character, but at the same time, you should know how to hold the hand of your co-actor and take him with you.
Yeah.
Okay. If it needs be, you have to really tell him or let him be free to tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
How we can really create this sequence as an extraordinary situation or extraordinary scene. So I like to really work with my actors and And definitely, the director, when he's there looking at you from a distance, you have to just look at him for the affirmation all the time. Because cinema, all said and done, it is a director's medium. Why it's a director's medium? Because before I came into the project, the script writers were there who'd been working on it. The production designers who were working on it. The location recce's happened. Cinematographer has been working on it. Then you come into it. Then you start rehearsing, and everything which is needed to be done, you do that. But when you're going on the set, there are so many people putting their best foot forward just to make things completely ready so that you can come and perform. And when your job is done, then comes the editor.
Like a whole bunch of other
mixing,
people.
And the VFX and all of that. So it's all, that whole thing is guided by one guy, and that is director.
Sure. There's one question on everybody's mind that I want to get to before we get too far along. Are we going to see another episode of Special 27 now?
27. I wish we could really make it, because the director is not only one of my best friends.
Oh, is he?
But also someone who I really admire. The craftsman that he is, the storyteller that he is, and in the manner he approaches his filmmaking, and in the manner he writes his script is quite superlative. So I really learn a lot just when we are sitting together, we talk.
Right. Well, I was actually going to ask you about, if we're allowed to talk about it, is a Family Man. Everyone wants to know, is there another Family Man? And you get asked it all the time. Is there another Family Man coming?
Yes, we are working on it. Yes, that's positive. Since Rajan DK, they are quite busy with Citadel's second season. They are shooting just when we are talking. They are quite busy with that series, but on the side, the writers are working on season 3 of Family Man. And I'm told that it's really turning out to be quite a script, I would say, and the character's journey is going to be very, very different from what you have seen till now.
Are you allowed to drop any hints at all?
Actually, I'm not. So everything that I'm saying is something that is conveyed to me.
Okay. How often are you calling them like, yo, where's the script? I want to see something.
Yes, whenever Raj and DK are calling me in between the breaks of the shoot, we are only talking about how we are going to go about the whole thing. This time, the preparation of the actors are going to be humongous, because this time we are very, very aware of one thing, that we have to get into it with the mindset that we don't know anything, and we have to visit it as if we are visiting it for the first time.
So you have a film that has a poster that's out, is Banda. Just a poster, nothing else. Why so much mystery? We want to see a trailer. We can't find a trailer.
What's it about?
Okay, 23rd is day after tomorrow. 23rd April is my birthday.
Welcome to your 30s.
Yay!
Actually 20s, I was thinking.
Jabby.
So that is when there will be an announcement poster. Which will be coming out, and after that, this is a month-long promotional drive that the studio has planned. So it's going to be quite an exciting 1 month for me. Starting from New York Indian Film Festival. This is where we are going to premiere it for the first time, and after that, and then we'll do some press in New York. And once I come back from New York, and just one city to another city to one more city. It's around 10 cities we have planned to travel and promote the film.
Okay.
That's amazing. Also, you had another film that had an international premiere, that was Joram at the Rotterdam Film Festival, right? So you're doing all these films which are seemingly having some sort of crossover appeal for the Western audience. Are we going to see more Manoj Bajpayee in Hollywood films, maybe? You don't know. My agent and my manager, they've been at it. I just hope that something works out. Not for any other reason, just for one thing, that 3 decades in this industry, I want to challenge myself more. Do something very different. I want to work in a different circumstances, different terrain, different country with different people. So if I get something, finger crossed,
something really good, then I'll definitely travel to your side of the world.
Something worthy of your talents.
I mean, just hope that, they come out with something really exciting for me, where I just dive deep into it.
Are you allowed to say anything about Banda before we get too far away
I
from
mean,
that?
it's a courtroom drama. It's a courtroom drama which will be coming after a long time from this industry. It is going to be as authentic as it gets. Okay, as dramatic, as exciting. It's actually inspired by many other true stories and incidents, and the writers and the director, they have created this such a fascinating story. I loved playing this character. Also, when it is courtroom drama, it's more dialogues. Because you really can't run away from it, because it's all about arguments and and the response from the other side. So there are many lines for me in this film. The climax itself was of 6 pages, where non-stop I had to speak. So
how do you memorize all of that?
More than 150 times I must have rehearsed with the director in my own space. I'm that mad guy who has to perfect the dialogue so much, so that I can improvise. I can do something which suddenly comes to me, at that point of time. So I should know my dialogue very well. So more than 150 times, just before we started shooting, it was 3 cameras. And I had to do it more than 6 times, 7 times, because they were changing the camera position all the time, just to cover, so that, they had enough coverage.
You did that in 6 or 7 takes?
Yes, I have done.
That's still amazing though, because I thought you were gonna say I rehearsed 150 times, then I had to shoot it 150 times, but 6-7 takes to get the coverage. I think that's you must have nailed the performance.
Yeah, from the first take itself. First take itself was okay with the camera positions. Then the director got greedy, and then he started changing the position of the cameras. He started doing more and more coverage, which was good for me and good for the film. But yes, it was exhausting. I remember I was sitting in my hotel room, and I was talking to my wife. It was 10 o'clock in the night, and by that time I must have rehearsed 20 times in my own hotel room. She called up, and I was talking to her, and I started doing the rehearsal again on the phone. And she, thanks to her, she very patiently, she was talking, she was just listening, till I really finished my monologue.
Right.
And then I said, how was it? Is it sounding good, authentic? What is your reaction? She said, you are a mad guy. Instead of asking me, how is it at home, you are rehearsing while I'm talking to you on the phone.
Do you have a trick or a secret for committing lines to memory, just for your own purposes of memorization? Because that's a lot of dialogue in that script. How did you get all that?
So the first and foremost, don't get down to memorize it in the beginning. You just have to go through it again and again, at least 10 to 15 times. Just read that scene as much as possible, as many times as possible.
Out loud or just in your head?
I mean, initially just in your head, then you start reading it aloud, and you'll realize that each and everything that you're saying, so one line is connected to the other line.
Right.
So that connection you start getting when you read it quietly or aloud. You after 6-7 times you start getting the connection.
Yeah.
When you get the connection, that is when lines flow very naturally. So if you really get into memorizing it, that is the time you forget your dialogues.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't
really
know
don't-
the action, the intention.
You don't know the purpose of it. You don't know the reasons for the second dialogue or second paragraph. So you have to read it as many times as possible just to find the connection of one line to the other line. It's very, very important.
I'll remember that then. Next time I have to learn some dialogue.
I have a quote from you that said, Joram was your career's most unique script.
It's very, very unique script. I have to speak to Anurag Kashyap why he said that is my best performance.
Oh.
But even when he saw it for the first time, my director, all the directors, mostly like-minded people, they show their first cut to each other just to take their opinion, so that they can change it on the edit, and if it is not required, then they will not. But eventually they respect each other so much that they show their films to each other. So that's how Anurag Kashyap responded to the film. And then we traveled to Rotterdam. Rotterdam is one of the most prestigious in the world, and it's not Indian diaspora. These are the filmmakers came from all over the world, and the actors, all the local Rotterdam people or Netherlands or the Amsterdam people, they booked the tickets. So the first day when we opened the film, only 60% filled up occupancy, but the second, third, fourth, fifth shows, it was so packed up that people were sitting on the stairs.
Wow.
So the first screenings word has really traveled very fast to everyone, to the audience. So I'm very, very excited to show that film to our audience, to everyone.
Does that still surprise you though? I mean, it's you, so does it still surprise you? It's like, come on, they're gonna see you, they're gonna be like, oh my God, he's so magical. It's the best performance I've ever seen. Like every time you do a movie that doesn't do well, it's like, well, the movie's not good, but MANOJ BAJPAYEE is, you're always shining, no matter what.
I've been very lucky that way, that I got some marvelous script and the directors in my career.
Yeah.
My credit, all I would say that I have put in 200, 300% into it. I forget everything. When there is a script, I tend to ignore everything in my life. So much so, even my accountant, my chartered accountant, all of these guys, they are very scared to visit me on the set because I tend to ignore them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Till the time it is wrapped, I don't meet. Mostly I don't talk to anyone, don't meet many people on the set. Shooting in Mumbai is very challenging. It's quite chaotic, and also when people come to know that you are in the city, then they tend to drop in on the set, and that is quite a disturbance for me, because that time I'm just not there.
Yeah.
To say hi, hello, and entertain people is very difficult for me.
You're not a jerk, you're just in character.
Yeah.
You're just focused.
Don't talk to me. I'm in character right now.
A question popped up into my head. Oftentimes, when someone has the opportunity to talk to an actor like yourself, they always ask the same thing, which is, what's your advice for someone young? So I have a different question. What's your advice for someone who is older and is like, I wanted to do acting, but I focused on my family, or I focused on becoming an engineer, but I still want to do acting? Do you have any advice for that person?
Oh, it's for them it's easy.
Yeah.
Because they have done what they had to do. They have fulfilled all their responsibilities.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they want that freedom of doing something that they thought they could do but could not do it. So it's best for them. At this point of time, children must be quite grown up, so that responsibility is not there. A husband-wife love and romance is almost, you have come to terms with living life together. The 20s romance is not there.
Wow.
So both of you are comfortable with each other, comfortable with each other's being there, not being there, and quiet in each other's presence. You are comfortable with all of that. You are not in a relationship now anymore to impress each other. So this is the best time to do it. This is the best time to free yourself of everything and just throw yourself into it.
Speaking of children and relationships, you've been with your wife for over a decade, right? Yeah. And your daughter is 12 years old.
12 years old.
So we were talking the other day, and you had went on for a while about spirituality. How does meditation. Mm-hmm. And how does meditation affect your relationship with your wife? And how would you feel if your daughter wanted to pursue acting as well?
With our daughter, at this point of time, we are only observing her as to what are the things which that interest her. But we are quietly observing her without telling her what to do and not to do. We both want her to make choices which is right for her. And even if we see certain things very obvious, we don't talk about it. We just want her to flow without any hindrance and without any, that parental guidance, that kind of a guidance.
Helicopter parent.
Yeah. So that is something we don't want to do it. We are very happy with her growth, we were a little concerned when she was not doing well in her studies, but now after 11, that I can say that she's been surprising quite a lot. She's not been that great in studies, but she's far more great in other things, which are evolving very, very fast, and she's enjoying that.
Well, that's amazing that you're so supportive of her, like either way, yeah.
Let them fly and let them fall. Just go and caress them, make them feel good when they fall, and just when they are flying, you just watch and appreciate. Because in my life, even my parents, look, I'm coming from village, they were not exposed to modern society or this civilization which I'm part of since many years. But still, they never stopped me. It was the society around us which kept on making their judgment. So these are the kind of children who grow very confident of themselves. These are the children who take immense amount of risk when they are choosing the path. And the people who take risk are the children much more creative in their mind, much more.
And you've been with your wife for how long?
Married is 2003 or 4.
Oh wow, okay. So I come from the divorce capital of the world, America. So I know that meditation means a lot to you, and you and your wife both do that. So how does that affect your relationship? Is there any secret to a long, loving relationship like the one that you have?
There is no secret. Believe me, every day is a new day, and every day you are trying to correct yourself. You are every time you are trying to improve yourself when it comes to staying in the marriage or understanding the other person. In the other interviews, I said, I think, which was just correct, that love alone cannot sustain your marriage. Okay, here you have to not focus on yourself, focus on the other person who is in the marriage with you, and look at things from her perspective, in my case, and shed everything about yourself. Shed off everything. Your ego, your insecurity. So if all of these things you are ready to shed off, there are better chances that quarrels will be very less, fights will be minimum, because we start putting ourselves first in any relationship. This is where things start going wrong. And if you think that the other person should not ignore certain things, I think in some of the calmer time you should talk, and talking actually helps.
I think that's actually really good advice. I think that's very helpful.
Yeah.
And you taught me something the other day. For those of you who don't meditate, Manoj taught me something that I have yet to put into practice, but I'm going to. And so you had told me, start out with like a couple minutes, setting an alarm.
Right.
And if you feel an itch, it's okay, it'll go away. And that was actually a really key thing for me when you said that, because it meant a lot to me, because I'm very anxious and I think about everything. And you said, of course you're going to think about things. That's normal. Let it come and then let it go.
Meditation, what I have seen even on YouTube and in so many books, they have really complicated it. It's about sitting in one place without moving and closing your eyes. Thoughts will come. Thoughts will come because thoughts are part of your life. You have lived all of those things, or you live that thought.
Right.
And so they are not going to leave you so easily. So if I wanted to act, I had to start from A to come to W, okay, or V, Y. But it has happened because of practice. Practicing it over the years. Similarly, meditation is also about practicing it. Some days are very bad.
Right.
Some days are blissful. But the end result is life-changing.
Yeah.
It actually makes you work better. It actually makes you a better husband. Yeah, makes you a better father, a better son, better friend. Earlier, there used to be a lot of anxiety before I started doing the shoot. But that anxiety is no more there. I'm looking at it from a distance, and I'm trying to approach it wisely and using my energy very well when I'm really rehearsing or preparing for a role. I think it has done more good than anything else.
So yeah, you're very just interesting to sit and watch. Like when we're just chatting, I just notice how you notice. I notice that you notice, if that makes any sense.
I mean, that's also practice. That's also what something that we've done, I've done for so many years. The first thing first, when you get into the room, there used to be one exercise, theater exercise, when you used to do it in the workshops, that you get into the space, you sit wherever you think you want to sit. And that sounded very childish, okay, earlier. But over the years, I have realized that we come into a living room or in some room and we suddenly find a space which may not be right for others, but you find it right for you. Right. So your body automatically starts going in that direction. You find that space. But I have done these workshops so many times. Now part of me is when I get into a room, automatically, without making it obvious, I have a look around it and I just follow my body wherever it is taking me. So subconsciously, I'm only listening to my instinct, where my body, my brain is taking me, in which corner it wants to, settle itself. It's all about observation. It's all about, earlier we used to actually sit in the street and look everyone, how he's behaving, how she's behaving, what's happening. But now it's part of the personality. Even if I'm not looking at anyone, somebody who's here, but I know exactly what that person is doing.
Vigilant.
Do you find then that when you're playing a different character, then your body tells you that you want to move in a different way?
Yes. There was a time when I was assisting my director, my teacher, Barry John, and he was directing an English play. So while he was watching the rehearsal and I was making the notes, because I was his first AD, and suddenly this known actor in the rehearsal, he just stopped and he asked my teacher, he said, "Barry, where should I move from here?" His simple answer was, "Where you think you should go." Mm-hmm. "No, you tell me, you are the director." He said, "I don't know. It's your body, it's your being.
Yeah.
Wherever you feel like going, just go.
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
Right.
I'm a director. I'm not a dictator sitting here." So wherever you feel like, just go. So this is something that we should do all the time. So when I'm acting in front of the camera, I don't stop myself if I have to do something in between. I don't hold it. I just do it. It may fall wrong. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
But most of the time I have realized that instinct has never gone wrong. It's Manoj Bajpayee who holds it. It's the character who comes out of it. So Manoj Bajpayee should not interfere into the character's instinct. This is what I do. Sometimes I have failed, but we've done it all over again. Doesn't matter.
I wanted to ask you about Soup. There's a trailer out for Soup, and I saw like 9 different versions of you in the trailer. That's what I was able to count because it was going quick. Are you playing multiple characters? Are you allowed to tell us anything about Soup?
Actually, there is an embargo from Netflix. So we're not allowed to say anything because they have not even come out with the streaming date. But I must tell you that this is the most challenging roles I have played.
Okay.
But it's not about playing to multiple people. It's about playing just one person, one character. But I will not divulge too much about it. But one thing I would say that it's directed by one of the best directors, one of our country, one of my most favorite one. Anurag Kashyap once told me that he's the only director who uses you so well, and I 100% agree with him.
Oh.
He's done three works with me, 3 projects actually, but I surprised myself in all of those 3 projects. Wow. It's only because of how he looks at me as a director, how he defines my actor. That is what something really amazes me about him. I'm very much looking forward to Soup's streaming. This is going to be one of a kind. I mean, definitely for me. The other day, my wife has seen all the episodes of it.
Oh, She's lucky.
And she was completely blown away. She could not come to the terms with the fact that some people and this director and these three writers have written it, and these people have been so lucky to be part of it. So yeah, this has been, and she's right. I really feel that I have been very, very lucky to be part of such a magnificent project. The story, the characters, the camera, everything. This is something I have never seen. And I watch a lot of content. I watch. I have seen so many films, so many series. But I'm not boasting about my own project. I'm boasting about Abhishek Chaubey, who's the director. What a director. I have never seen anything like this, even in world cinema.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were saying as well that you always like to be challenged, and you've also, you know, completed 30 years in the industry. At this point, is there anything left where you're like, yeah, that's the thing, that's the character, the genre, whatever that you'd like to do?
It's always about what you are putting out there in the universe, and I keep putting it out there. When I finished all my commitments 6 months back, and I thought that I'm done. You know, I'm done. I've done everything here in this industry, all kind of roles, all kind of directors. And then when I watch Soup, I say, oh, I was wrong. I was not done. So I keep sending out those messages to all the great directors from here that I'm open to working with them. I think that helps. So when the directors start thinking that I have to challenge Manoj Bajpayee, I have to take out the aspect that others have never seen, that is when you feel lucky. And so when you are working with great directors, they also feel challenged that I have to take out something from Manoj Bajpayee which nobody has seen in these 30 years. And these directors who I am talking about are the people who love to take those challenges. And if I'm working with them, they feel responsible that they have to give me something really extraordinary. So that I am challenged. At the end of the day, I have to be challenged. And some of the best directors that I have worked in these 2 years, and all the films will be coming out, all the projects will be coming out slowly and gradually. Joram is one, Dispatch by Kanu Bahel. Then Ram Reddy has made a film called Pahadon Mein, it means in the mountain. And Soup is coming, Banda is coming. And all of these projects are finished. They are almost ready. And some of them will take the festival routes, and some of them will start streaming very soon.
Now you did a movie on Z5 called Silence, and is there a follow-up coming to that?
Well, yes, you're right. It was a commitment. I have given it to Z5, which is our Indian OTT platform, very popular with Indian diaspora and Pakistani and Bangladeshi people in US and Canada and Europe. They are quite huge. I mean, much more bigger than Netflix and Amazon, all of these people.
Wow.
Yeah, among the diaspora. Silence, the first one, became most watched film on Z5, and that was the time Z wanted a commitment from me for the second part, which I'll be shooting in July.
Oh.
Very soon.
Oh, that's exciting for the audience to find out.
Yeah.
Is that already public information?
Not in a big way.
You heard it here first.
Yes, yeah.
July.
They heard it first.
Take us through the boring stuff. What is your morning routine? What is the day in the life of when you're not on set and you're not in character?
It's always the same.
Yeah.
5 o'clock is something that I have to get up. 4:35, I just love my morning.
Wow.
Wait, even if you slept late the night before?
No, I mean, no. Then it's very difficult, because at least 6 hours minimum one should sleep just to feel healthy and feel in good mood. And also I'm quite addicted to my morning routines, like my yoga, my meditation, then my physiotherapy exercises, then I go for a brisk walk, and then I do some freehand exercises.
No weights.
I know weights are something that I get bored of. I really get bored of. I love to feel and look thin. This is something I like.
What if you were approached for a role like Dangal? Would you gain the weight? Or would you just wear a prosthetic?
Wear a fat suit, yeah.
Wear a fat suit.
I don't think I will do it.
Oh, really? You are looking for a challenge all the time.
No, not this. All this. You can gain weight, but losing it, it's quite a hard thing. Very, very hard thing. And I don't want to depend on anything else, anything chemical. No. So I want to be healthy and working all the time.
Is there any part of you that's annoyed that intermittent fasting is not called the BAJPAYEE method? Because you've been doing it before it was even coined a
14
term.
years I've been doing it.
Yeah.
And intermittent fasting, those apps started coming now. So I said, okay, I'll correct myself. I'll call my routine intermittent,
Sure.
But yes, I've been doing the thing which has become quite a fad now for 13, 14 years. And I started losing weight quite fast when I just thought of doing it. And it took me 1 week to get used to it, because 1 week is terrible. You really feel difficult to sleep because you are feeling hungry, and you are feeling hungry so badly that you start feeling that you may develop some kind of acidity. But 1 week, it was very difficult. But in 1 month, I lost so much of weight. I started feeling very light and very healthy. And in another 6 months, I lost around 10 kg.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. That's incredible.
And now, since so many years, I feel very uncomfortable when I eat something in the evening. Very, very uncomfortable.
Right. I say this in a respectful way. You're old enough that you've watched the world change quite a bit.
Right.
Do you have any advice to the younger generation? Because we have a wide range of age groups that watch us. Do you have any advice to the younger generation, irrespective of a pursuit of the entertainment industry, just in general? Because what I loved talking to you about is just everything. Yeah. You can talk about anything,
right.
Just life in general. So I just wonder if you have any little advice for the next generation coming up, irrespective of whatever it is that they want to do.
Whatever you love doing, just go ahead and do it. Life is too short.
Yeah.
You don't want to regret it, in your middle age, in your old age. So just go ahead and do it, whatever you want to do it, whichever profession you want to choose. Just only thing is that you have to give to 300%. 100% is never enough. It's 300%. That means you forget everything. And if you put in 300% for initial 10 years, rest of the years you will be actually making the benefit of that 10 years, initial 10 years that you've given everything to what you wanted to do. And that also tells you how to lead your life, how to be a great professional at the same time. But that initial 10 years is very, very crucial. In my case, I didn't have any other choice, because I was rejected by National School of Drama 3-4 times. And that was a goal that I had pampered since the time I was 10 years old. And it didn't happen. I didn't have plan B. So I had to give 300% while I was doing theater outside. I could not get into one of the best institutes in this world, National School of Drama. But I have done everything fantastic outside, only because I didn't have anywhere else to go.
Right.
So I didn't have any other choice but to really work hard from morning till late night, and again get up at 4:35 and start working on your skill and craft and start doing theater. Second thing, I would say that don't take advice.
So definitely don't take advice from Manoj right now. Just do your own thing, everyone.
Why do you say don't take advice?
Because the person who's giving you the advice, he himself was surprised by life every day. Everyone's life situations are very, very different. And the life that they are leading or they have led, they have the challenges may have been the same, but the circumstances must have been very, very different.
That's true. That's true.
When the challenges are there, deal with them according to the circumstances that you are in at that point of time. But try not to get bogged down about two things: circumstances and people.
I mean,
That's very good advice.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, that's what I was exactly what I was about to say. I mean, like, I understand you're saying don't take advice, but I think that's actually very sound advice.
Yeah.
So, I know what you're going to say already, but would you ever consider doing a podcast or a radio show for because I know you like to mentor people, and I think for you it's more about one-on-one mentorship. Right. But would you ever do a podcast or a radio show if given the opportunity to mentor a lot of people at the same time?
I want to do it. This is because when I was doing theater, this is what I was trained in by my teacher, where I used to conduct workshops. I used to work with the school children, with the street children, with the slum children. I have been teaching and I've taught for so many years. Still I go and take workshops at National School of Drama or Film Institute here. Any institute who is interested in calling me, and if I'm free, then I definitely go to them. And that's the time I'm so happy because I love sharing. I love sharing about myself. I love sharing about acting as a skill and everything else. More than anything else, is also about the growth that I see in them in those 1 month time when I'm doing those exercises with them or conducting that workshop from A to say DZ, whatever time. That in between the growth, when I look at them from a distance, I feel very proud of myself when I see them evolving and learning fast. Yeah, that gives me a lot of happiness.
When you're teaching all these youngsters, do you learn anything from them through?
Oh yes, when they are performing, when they are doing those exercises. Just very lately, one girl at National School of Drama, and direction was her specialization, in the 3rd year. But she came and she wanted to be part of the workshop, and she came across as the best actor. And every exercise, the way she used to interpret or define that exercise, as an actor in front of us, was so eye-opening for me. And she used to tell me through her performance in the workshop that the exercise that you have given can be done 2-3 different ways, and in my mind all those ways never occurred. So they are teaching you through their own work, through their own expressions. It's you have to be ready to really learn from people. Anyone can teach you. All the directors that I have worked with lately, all of them are far younger to me, but they were not those people who look at the script of the performance in that particular scene just in the manner you were thinking. So they explain themselves, they have given their interpretation to the performance and the scene, which completely opened my eyes.
You're always looking for a challenge. How about the MCU? I know. I'm just joking. But seriously, Joker. I want to see Manoj Bajpayee be the first Indian Joker.
Yeah, I would love to do it, definitely.
Yeah.
I love to do it with someone, let's say Abhishek Chaubey.
Okay.
I think he's the one who can make a very authentic Joker here in India. I just hope that he is watching your show, and even if he's not watching, I'll show it to him. Just like that.
Okay.
Now this is my interview. Please watch it.
You guys, that's it for now. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Make sure to check out everything that Manoj Bajpayee has coming out. Lots of exciting stuff. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. You'll see reactions to all of that coming up on this channel. Thank you again. I'm BAJPAYee. This is
Achara Kirk.
And Manoj Bajpayee over there. How crazy is this? Thanks again.
Applause.
Peace out.